Six Acts 1 winner. Who decides? You decide. It's the UK national final. Let's talk about it. You guys, today the BBC revealed the 6 songs and artists who they have whittled down from hundreds of submissions. And I've got to say, I'm not really impressed. Last year was a step in the right direction. And, this year isn't bad by any means. It's, a respectable final. I'm just not finding any songs that I particularly connect with. In any case, there can only be one winner, so let's go around and name our top 3. Chris, number 3.
So my number 3 is Selena with I Don't Want to Fight. And it's kind of a really close one because I say I like, but this and the Emily DeForest Lucy Jones song are kind of tied for my number 3. But the way I look at I Don't Want to Fight, it's like this really nice tropical beat, and then they've thrown these lyrics that make absolutely no kind of sense with them. It's like take a fruit salad and then put salad cream on it. That just don't go. It's like, why talk about... It's like a peace song. It's like Love, Love, Peace, Peace, but over a tropical house dance beat. No, just no. That being said, the actual song, taking away the lyrics, I think is the best. If they just completely rewrote it, it would probably be my number 1. And I think she's really good. I think she'll probably sell it live on Friday night. So yeah, it's my number 3, kind of out of the other ones are just below it. So,
Denise.
My number 3 is Holly, and it's with the song "I Wish I Love You More." And the thing is, it's my number 3, but I'm not really a big fan of it. William, like you said, it's not that good of a year. It's getting better if you compare it to the previous years, but it's not that good. It's kind of forgettable. And that's the problem that I'm having with this song. I think that Holly, that she is good, she has a good voice, and she's trying, and there's nothing wrong with her, as far as I can tell from the studio version. But the song itself, I kind of forget what the song was. I heard it like 4 hours ago, I think, and that's when I made my top. And right now, if you ask me to sing a little part of the song or even the melody, I can't really remember it. I know that her vocals were good, but that's kind of it. And I think that's also what will happen at Eurovision itself otherwise. And especially since it's the UK, we all know that when it comes to them, that they really have to prove themselves. And when you compare it to some other countries, when the UK is sending it gets lower than some other countries, but still. And with this song, they will just forget it. And it's a shame for Holly. It's really a shame. But yeah.
So I'm going to cheat a little and quickly mention my number 4 because it was Chris's number 3, Selena. I was going to make her my number 3, but they're just some genres or topics rather that I don't want a Caribbean R&B song to discuss, and that includes putting down your weapons. Why don't we put down our weapons? Why don't we not have a nuclear war? Why don't we not have semi-automatic rifles? It's just very strange. It's very strange. I like that she's trying to approach Love, Love, Peace, Peace from a new angle, but I don't know, sing a ballad if you want to do that. It's just something is very awkward, and I hate to say that because she sells everything in her photo, even the little thumbnail in the video. She's working it from head to toe. She knows how to present herself, and just in that image, I see sass, I see attitude. And the song has sass and attitude, but I just don't think you should have sass and attitude about grenades. Maybe that's just me. In any case, my number 3 is, and I should point out, it was tough to come up with the number 3, but I gave it to Danelle. Danelle with Light Up the World.
Light up the world tonight. Oh, we can shine in the darkness. Light up the world tonight. Oh, we can start what we started.
And the reason I did that is because this is very musical theater meets gospel choir, and it's just a different sound we don't really hear at Eurovision too much. I guess with Walk on Water there was kind of a gospel element, but this is much more kind of, I don't know, it reminds me of my childhood in the Deep South, Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. It's got that kind of identity, and so it stands out, and I think he's a very good singer. It's a shame he has to sing this. I like the ending, the military, the drums. This would be great in the West End, but I don't think it's good for Eurovision. And like, I know people are going to say, oh, look at Jade Ewan, she sang Andrew Lloyd Webber. That worked. That was a one-off. I think that generally West End numbers don't work at Eurovision. Chris, we move on to number 2.
My number 2 then is Olivia with Freedom Hearts.
Of all these freedom hearts, listen real closely, we'll find another star.
Actually, because this was the first one we heard during the reveal, and I thought, oh my god, the BBC might have actually come up with a good year. And then I remembered that Joe and Jake were the first ones we heard last year, and then it was like, oh, okay. And lo and behold, it ended up exactly the same. Yeah, she's a very good singer. And actually, the thing we should say, they're all very good singers. There's not a bad one in the bunch. They all happen to all be X Factor rejects as well, which really says a lot about the BBC's hope for Eurovision. But yeah, it's a good song. It's very Eurovision by numbers, kind of, I think. There's a lot. All of them, it's like freedom or love or peace and all this. Mm-hmm. It just feels very much like they had a songwriting camp that we know of, and it just feels like they all were told, do a song about love or do a song about peace. She sells it well, though. She's 16, so maybe that'll help a little bit if she got to Eurovision, I think. Like the youth of the UK are better than the older UK or whatever. But yeah, she's good. It's a nice song, but nice won't get you far at Eurovision. If I compare this to something like Curly or something like that, it's nowhere even close. And that's one with all the UK songs. But yeah, this is, again, it's good, but it's not anything the UK would need to send to do really well again.
And that songwriting camp, it's interesting because I think it was in Copenhagen. It was somewhere in the Scandies because, you know, if we look at the songwriters, I'm all about Sweden sending songs everywhere because they're often very good. Mm-hmm. But the representation, where are the Brits at? Why aren't the Brits here writing songs? Because, I don't know, I just feel like there are a lot of Scandinavian composers here. Whatever, they've produced some okay songs, but I would have liked to see a bit more British flavor. In any event, Denise.
Yeah, my number 2 is Selena. And I think, well, you already spoke about her. And if you remove all the lyrics, I think it's a great song. That's it. The melody is just amazing. I want to dance to it, and I really like it. Yeah, but the lyrics is such a cliche, and you know what I'm surprised about? I know that when you are a singer and they're sending it to you and be like, oh, you can go to Eurovision with this, you would be really happy because, oh my God, I can go to Eurovision. But I mean, everyone has to know or should know that a song like this with those lyrics, that it won't work, that there will be a lot of people who will say, like, please do something else. We've heard this like a million times before. People should tell that, and especially when the melody is so good and the rest of it is great, you have a great artist who can sing really beautifully, then you need someone who can write the perfect song, the perfect lyrics to it. I mean, I want to say, are they all deaf? But it's not deaf, of course, because the melody is good. So they all just can't read. They're all blind. That's it. They're all blind. No. Just change the lyrics, please. Then this would have been my favorite if that would happen. So.
Excellent. You're right, though. It's a shame. It's like sending Naomi Campbell, a beautiful woman, down the runway in a potato sack. Like, you've got the product. Work with it. It's very curious to me. And I bet you Selena herself, she would have kind of, if she had had more input, maybe changed them. Because I can't believe that any artist would want to go up there and sing, "Put away your weapons, put away your weapons." It's just awkward. In any case, my number 2 is "I Wish I Loved You More" from Holly.
Feel myself buzzing, wanna rush, I can't ignore. Every time we touch, I wish I loved you more.
I just keep thinking about RuPaul from RuPaul's Drag Race. You know, at one point, she tells contestants they're safe, but she says safe is something I hate in this contest because you need to make an impression. And this song is just very safe. It's like, okay, we'll give it kind of a contemporary sound. We'll have a woman do some vocal runs. It's like plucking from air and like, here's your pop song. And it comes off very kind of generic as a result. I'm still not convinced I understand the lyrics at all. Like, you're the sunlight that the preacher talks about. I mean, the sun rises, the sun goes down, and I just don't know what she's talking about. And I can't tell if she, like, wants to love a guy, but she knows he's wrong for her, or... the narrative is just... I shouldn't have to think so much about the narrative. It should be a bit more obvious. I mean, this is not down to her. She's a good performer. You know, she's very soulful. She can deliver the song. It's, again, just a matter of what she's delivering. At one point, she says, "I want to feel myself buzzing, want a rush I can't ignore." Well, you need to go to svt.se/melodiefestivalen, because then you'll get the buzz, because it's just not good enough. When this came on, this was song 2, I thought they were replaying song 1. I really did. It sounded the same. It's just too similar. You know, it's an American Idol winner single, in the words of one of our bloggers, wiwiblogger Robin. She also pointed out that it's a very kind of woman shouting song, which will have its fans among Eurofans. It's just not original. I wouldn't pay to download this. If they sang this at my wedding, I would want a refund. I'm just not feeling it. But Holly is a great performer, and live, she could elevate this. This is the thing. When you see an act live, it can transform, even if it's a mediocre song. So she is a good performer, so maybe she can give this the magical touch. I don't know.
I think that on that whole, it's not original. I mean, Josh, another wee blogger, mentioned it sounded a lot like Beyonce's Halo. And then ironically, an hour and a half later on the same show, they're revealing all the songs. They played Beyonce's Halo. And it was like, oh yeah, no, okay, great, way to make the point. And the other thing is that this year you decide it's 3 women singing ballady, shouty songs, 2 guys singing kind of soul-y songs, and then 1 tropical love, peace song. Last year, at least you had Darline, who were country. You had Dulcimer, who were folk. You had Bianca with a big shouty ballad. You had guys doing different things. And then it's just like, what? It does feel like a step down from last year, I think, for me. All that being said, Holly is my number 1.
Oh, before we get to that, can I just say one thing? You make a good point about basically the lack of variety this year. I feel like maybe the BBC saw some Swedish names and they said, ooh, that's very trendy. Let's just take that song without it necessarily being the best song. I do not believe that these were the 6 best songs that were submitted to the BBC. And if they were, then I'm shocked.
That's
That's real bad. But I just feel like maybe people got bewitched by, we need foreign songwriters. Because Amelie de Forest, this is the best example. That song is abysmal. I'm sorry, I love Amelie de Forest. I loved Never Alone. I loved Rainmaker.
Oh yeah, and Neeson, yeah.
Yeah, this is not good. It's very soporific, put me to sleep. I mean, not ketamine. What's the antidepressant? Sorry. I just feel like I'm taking antidepressants when I hear this. In any case, Chris, it is time for your number 1.
So yeah, my number 1 is Holly with "I Wish I Loved You More."
But I wish I loved you more.
And again, I think this is by exactly the same people that did I Don't Want to Fight, or one of them. It's all from this same camp, and they are all kind of mediocre, not really like a 7 out of 10 in a wee wee jury kind of situation songs. But this was the one. It's kind of like the opposite of Denise, who said that it kind of faded out of her memory. It's the only one that's really stuck with me. And it is just that I wish I loved you more bit. The lyrics don't make a lot of sense. And again, it's kind of like, if it's Spain, where you've got like Lecline, and that makes no sense, but it's fine because she's Spanish. And, you know, I wouldn't expect it to be word perfect. And this, I'm like, why are you talking about preachers and amen and then sunlight? And it's just so generically Eurovision by numbers again. But she's really, really good. And it's just because it's got that kind of climax at the end, that's the only one where it stood out for me. And that has to be my number one. If she gets it vocally really well, then I think the juries would really love it. But none of these are televote songs.
No.
Like, none of these would do really well on a televote. Maybe I Don't Want to Fight, but that's not saying much. But yeah, very good singer, average-ish song. So, yeah, that's my number one.
On the song, when she goes, ooh, amen, it's too electronic and blaring. I'm hoping that's just the studio version, but something about that moment is it really turned me off completely. There was a glimmer of hope, and it went bam. It was too much in my face.
That's funny, by the way, because now I'm thinking, I told you I kind of forgot the song, and now you're saying Amen. I'm like, oh yeah, wait, it was the Amen song. So now I remember it, but so thank you for that. Yeah, that song. Sorry, Ali. No, sorry, songwriters.
But you know, it's funny. It's almost like people think if you have a soulful voice, it's inherently a religious song. It's like you think, at least where I'm from, you think of kind of the black choirs in the deep south.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, it's a soul song. So let's have people going, amen, hallelujah. It's so cliche. I just can't deal with it. Denise.
And I can immediately think how it'll be staged. It'll be like gold lights, like a blinding thing when she says amen, and how many times have we seen that at Eurovision?
And then Conchita Wurst on a cross. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Over it. Number one, let's do that. It is Olivia.
Why don't you care about us? Why don't you care about us? Oh, we won't be run down. No, we won't stand down. Freedom hearts.
And first of all, how the hell can that girl be 16? I just don't understand it. I don't know, what am I doing wrong? I'm 8 years older and there's no way I can sing like that. Yeah, 16 years old. She is, again, incredible. The artists this year, they're all great. And I think when it's about the song, then this is the best one. I've listened to it a couple of times. When I heard it, I thought, oh, okay, this is a decent song. It's it's just okay. And then since the rest isn't getting better, yeah, this is my favorite. At least with this song, things are happening. It's not like this the whole time. It's like ups and downs, and at least there are parts that I like about it. And I think that also in the chorus, it's really powerful. And again, especially for her age, she has a really powerful voice. And I don't know, I can listen to this, but just like Holly's song, it will be forgettable. It will be the left side of the scoreboard again. But I think out of the bunch, it is the best one.
Well, Denise, you are a woman of my own heart. She is also my number one. Now, my biggest problem is that I'm a native English speaker, and so I listen to lyrics way too closely. And I don't know what Freedom Hearts means. I was looking, I was like, maybe this is a military thing, like you give the wife of a dead soldier a freedom heart. No. Then I Googled it, and there's a 2011 Indonesian drama fiction called Hearts of Freedom. Again, not the same. It just doesn't make any sense. Listen to the whispers of all these freedom hearts. I think the adjective is free. Like, I find it very irritating actually. And like Olivia is a native English speaker, so I know she knows something is up. You do not just sing because someone tells you to sing. You know, you read the fine print, you read those lyrics. But even putting that aside, the rest of it, failing from the start, made us fall apart, and look here we are, slowly fading out, should we run and shout? This is very ESL. It's clear that this was written by foreigners, and I'm not trying to be a hater, because I think it has very strong production, and that's why it's my number one. I think it falls on the ears, it draws you in. It just doesn't have the wow factor. You know, all these people are from the X Factor, but they all left the X Factor with Simon Cowell, because I'm not seeing it here. It's just a shame. And Liberty, you know, Hearts of Freedom. Do you remember Liberty Fries? Like when America was boycotting France, instead of French fries, we had Liberty Fries. Freedom Hearts or Heart, whatever the phrase. It just sounds something about it is very like cloying and awkward. In any event,
I was going to say, it feels very American because it's talking about yes, we can as well. Yeah. Like that was Obama. That's not. I think it kind of is. I know it sounds silly, but I think Brexit. That there's something Brexit about it, like being free. And it's like, that's surely the worst thing we could say to get votes.
Well, it's funny because last year, Joe and Jake, of course, said we're not alone when the Brexit was building, the Brexit drama. And now we're on the other side of it. And she says, should we run and shout or stay in the dark? So, and, you know, she's also the first to perform. So clearly, in short, Olivia is going to win. And then she's going to come 24th at Eurovision.
Yeah.
But I do think she's a much better performer than Joe and Jake were. I like Joe and Jake a lot. I mean, if you watch the videos, I think she can deliver live. And I think of all the songs, this will elevate the most live.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. And then they're all good live singers. Like they must be. So at least there's that.
At least there's that. Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Are you excited that the UK is once again using Eurovision? You decide. And how do you decide who of these acts, if any, can slay at Eurovision? You can let us know here on wiwibloggs.
And even though we don't really like the selection this year, you can do something that you like, and it is liking this video.
And we hope you decide to subscribe to wiwibloggs.
We love a good cliche. See you later.
Bye.